This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
Undoubtedly, people who decided to voyage to and live in the New World had to be courageous, committed, persistent, and industrious. The colonies they formed in the middle of nowhere were rife with various hardships and dangers stemming from aborigines and unfamiliar natural conditions. In particular, one of the prominent settlers was William Bradford, who sailed to North America on the Mayflower in 1620 and established and governed Plymouth Colony. The history of Plymouth, captured in his Journal of Plymouth Plantation, recounts interesting challenges and trials befalling Bradford and other colonists. This essay will describe the difficulties and problems William Bradford and his colony encountered, occurring in the local nature and interacting with the natives. Troubles for new settlers began with their first explorations at Plymouth Colony. For example, during the opening expedition, Bradford was trapped in a pitfall prepared by Indians for a deer. The third expedition was also accompanied by a significant problem. A strong winter storm almost wrecked the boat near Plymouth Bay. The expeditors managed to land on Clark's Island, but they suffered from acute cold. When the settlers finally found an appropriate place and returned to the Mayflower, Bradford learned that his wife had died by falling from the ship's deck and catching a cold in the icy water. The death of his wife was a severe strike for William Bradford, who noted this tragic event in his journal. However, the most challenging test befell the settlement on Christmas Eve of 1620. A widespread sickness spread among the Pilgrims, mowing half of their small company. Bradford became ill as well, enduring severe pain in his hip bone, but he managed to survive. The settlers attempted to hide their misfortune from Native Americans in order not to demonstrate their weakness and vulnerability, burying corpses at night. Furthermore, only an insignificant number of men could serve the settlement and care for the sick, which also created considerable problems with food. In such challenging circumstances, indignation and murmur arose among some colonists, which fortunately was handled by the governor's patience, wisdom, and equal approach to everybody. Nevertheless, this trial also brought positive moments. For example, Bradford made a long-lasting friendship with Captain Miles Standish, who took care of the former. In contrast to contact with regional environmental conditions, the relationships with the American Indians developed more smoothly and calmly. Specifically, the first native tribe with whom the colonists became acquainted was the Massasoit. This acquaintance gradually grew into a tight union, according to which the parties provided mutual military aid to one another. The alliance also secured the settlers from other aggressive clans, such as Massachusetts and the Narragansetts. Overall, the life of the first settlers presented in Of Plymouth Plantation by William Bradford can serve as an inspiring and vivid example of a great, robust people. Hardships and troubles they met on their way to the establishment of the colony made them stronger, cleverer, and more united and cooperative. Most of them realized that to survive in such harsh conditions, they had to live and work harmoniously, care for each other, and adapt to new circumstances. Moreover, every individual can learn valuable lessons of genuine leadership exhibited by William Bradford, a governor of Plymouth. He always tried to consolidate the settlers, help them listen to others' advice, and not lose a sense of humor, even in complicated situations. This essay on William Bradford's hardships in Of Plymouth Plantation was written and submitted by a student just like you. The Ivy Panda Samples database hosts thousands of works similar to this one, on various subjects. Visit ivypanda.com to find what you are looking for.